let's go with the draft. Here's how Daniel Jeremiah sees things shaking out in the first 10 picks of the draft coming up in a couple of weeks. 3 quarterbacks going in the first 4 selections, starting with Bryce Young to the Panthers. DJ flipped it. CJ Stroud to the Texans at 2, and Anthony Richardson moves up to 4 to the Colts. It's April. It's the month of the draft. Kansas City. Everyone will descend on barbecue land at the end of the month. Lots of things still up in the air. A lot of things can change between now and then. But let's pick a storyline ahead of the draft that you think is the biggest in the NFL world right now, Peter.
By the way, Caitlin Clark, she's making a lot of news.
Yeah.
Diehard Chiefs fan.
Really?
Diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan, huge Mahomes fan. Will she be at the draft? That's what I want to know. Will she be making a pick at the draft?
Why don't we get her on Good Morning Football? Let's talk Chiefs.
Should we get her on the draft?
I think we should.
Let's get her on Good Morning Football. The biggest story of the draft, though, is who's going to be that first quarterback taken. And to me, I've seen a lot of mock drafts. DJ's is as spot on usually as any. He's got Bryce Young, and a lot are saying CJ Stroud. Here's how I break it down from what I'm talking to people around the league. CJ Stroud is considered the safer pick, which to me is a giant red flag. Like, I don't want the safer pick. I want the right pick. The Panthers move up to number 1. What Stroud brings is a big-bodied guy who can control the line of scrimmage, can do it all, and has played in the biggest games, obviously, and he saved his best for his last collegiate game where he absolutely lit up Georgia in the college football playoffs. Bryce Young measured in at 204 pounds at the Combine. I'm told Bryce Young is probably 185, maybe 190, and he's slight. He's not 6 feet. There has never been a quarterback of that height. See, even Kyler Murray is a thicker build, is a different build. This guy's slight. And yet, as we're sitting here on April 3rd, Carolina, you're making that pick at number 1. If you fall in love with Bryce Young and you think that Bryce Young is the best quarterback in this draft, do not take the safe pick. Take the guy that you fell in love with, because I'll tell you, Bryce Young had a better collegiate career than CJ Stroud. Bryce Young has played in bigger games than CJ Stroud, and Bryce Young does things in the pocket that CJ Stroud does not do. Stroud, bigger, had a better pro day, is the talk of the town right now, might very well go number 1. And if Carolina does that, you know that they had conviction in doing so because of all the work they're putting into this and because of the quarterback experience that Frank Reich and Josh McCown and, of course, Jim Caldwell as a coach have in that room. But, gosh, if you're at number 1 and you're like, well, we like Young more, but we can't take him number 1 because there's never been a quarterback of that size that's had success in the league. And No. If you like him at number 1, take him at number 1. You didn't trade up to number 1 to make the safe pick. You made it to make it the right pick for you. And I think there will be naysayers no matter what you do. So for me, who goes first? And I'm just limiting it to those 2 guys. I think those are the 2 likely guys. Stroud or Bryce Young. There are fans in both camp. But if I'm Carolina, take the guy that you want, not the guy that you think is the safer pick.
You make that move weeks and weeks ahead of the draft. The trade came down earlier. We knew the Bears were going to trade, but weeks. They know who they want?
No, I don't think they do.
You don't?
I don't. They might have their inclinations, but they did that because they want to be able to pick who they want.
Yeah.
That was before the pro days. That was
and
before
we'll chill
everything.
for a month and decide.
Yeah, let us decide, but let us be the ones who pick. We don't want to be dealt a quarterback. We've been dealing with that for years when you go through the round, carousel of Baker and Darnold. And there's everyone else's picks. They got their own now. They're the number 1 pick. They can take who they want.
I've been saying it seems like a lot of people have Young and Stroud as a wash. Like, we have equal grades on them. Well, then you take Stroud. Like, if you have the same, we like them the same, then you take the big athlete. Like, I think that is the tiebreaker without a doubt, unless there's just some itch you just have to scratch. You just love Bryce Young that much. I look deeper, and maybe a few picks deeper, and maybe not deeper. I think Anthony Richardson is the most interesting pick of this draft and the most electric. There is a tradition in drafts where there are the guys who are the highest rated, and that's interesting, and that's great. But then there's these, like, ones with sizzle that come a little bit later. Like, think, Lamar going late in the first round was like, oh my God, Lamar, look how far he fell. Like, there was a lot of eyes on him. Even if you go back to the Eli Manning draft, Eli was going to go number 1, and then Phillip Rivers is this solid, big, strong-arm quarterback. And then there's this guy from the MAC, Roethlisberger. When he gets taken, you're like, oh man, that's the one you're kind of waiting on. This is the sizzle pick right here. And listen, it's my favorite prospect in the draft. I love what he represents. I love the risk. I love the upside. I love the ceiling. I love all of that. Some team is going to say, Here we go, guys. Put the card in. We're taking Richardson, and we know all the slights, and we know all the inexperience, but we're doing it anyways, and it could be really, really high. Or who the hell knows? Maybe the word gets out between now and then that such and such is with the deal with him, and he just falls. It's the most interesting one to me. I know Stroud and you're going to go really, really high. Who the hell knows with Levis? But Richardson, to me, is sort of the sizzle rock star, like the bring down the house pick, be it really early or really late. That's the one I'm waiting for. When that pick's in, let's go.
Yeah, I think the fan base for whatever team drafts him is going to go nuts. And you talked about former drafts that's similar to, like Josh Allen, when he came out, everybody said he had incompletion percentage concerns. It was his accuracy, and look at how that panned out. So Richardson, can't wait to see it. You guys are both going quarterbacks, and look, we all know it's a quarterback draft. I'm kind of going to like turn left here and not go player, but team.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions right now. We were talking about them earlier on the show about like, man, all this hype now, and it's like Lions fans, I think, are getting a little nervous. Like, all right, everybody's being a little too nice to us and talking about us too much. That division's wide open. We talked about it last week about, the NFC North being wide open. The Detroit Lions have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds, and they've got the 6th pick overall, and they've also got the 18th pick. Now, I tell you what, if Richardson's there at 6, Kyle, I mean, could Dan Campbell say, look, let's go a future guy? I mean, I don't know what Detroit thinks about that, but that could be a huge pick for them. But I think coming out of this draft, we're going to be talking about the Detroit Lions and what they did in this draft with those 2 first-round picks and how they added to this puzzle. And I think we're going to come out and saying that they are the top dog in that division based on what they did in this draft and based on how they finished last season. So Detroit Lions with those 2 first-round picks.
Fun to say.
They've had a lot of high picks in the first round over the last few years, but 2 in this draft right here, it could really help them out.
You guys have probably talked a lot about the Lions the last 2 weeks. I haven't been here. Obviously, C.J. Gardner-Johnson's a huge pickup. The David Montgomery from Jamal Williams, was that broken down a bit? I think it's a very interesting deal. Williams wanted a certain number. The Lions weren't willing to go there. Montgomery says, I'll take that number, and Williams ends up going to New Orleans. But there was a certain mojo they had, and Jamal Williams was one of those guys, the Pied Piper in the locker room, and they all kind of... I wonder if the dynamic of the personality changes a little bit when you just take out one of the biggest personalities on the team and you just insert another guy.
And Jamal Williams' introductory press conference in New Orleans was as expected.
As we wanted,
As expected. I hear you on these 2 guys already went quarterback, and then you went with the team. I'm going to go back to the quarterback. I feel like I have to apologize, but I'm going to.
Marsha.
I think there is a question that I have as to how many quarterbacks will go early, because the 2 guys at the top of the list, Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, are excellent, and their skills are well mapped out. But all of a sudden, you get to that number 3 pick. The Arizona Cardinals are sitting there. They do not need a quarterback. Does a team, the 6 through 12 picks, do they jump up and go to 3? And then they pick a guy. They pick a quarterback, let's say, a team that's at 6 through 12. And then the Colts are still sitting there at 4. Well, we still need a guy. All of a sudden, do you have a run of 4 quarterbacks that go 1 through 4? Because there are teams that are in need, that are on the list, that could jump to 3. And the Colts, I don't care who you are, the carousel has stopped, and they need a guy. So is all of a sudden Anthony Richardson goes 3 and now you have to take Will Levis? I mean, the way that this thing could flip-flop up until the very last second when the envelope is walking across the stage, to me is so fascinating. For as much as this year's draft, Kyle, is Electric Factory compared to last year's cup of chamomile tea, this one I am on board for, because the number of quarterbacks and the teams that are in dire need. I had a pain scale going last week. How bad is the pain without a quarterback? Some were at a 10. Okay, some is like, just put me out of my misery.
I hear that.
They have to take a guy. So how many could go early?
You got the 4 right there, obviously. They're all going to go top 15, top 10 probably. Yeah. Hendon Hooker is a very interesting one. He's 25 years old. He's the Tennessee quarterback coming off a major injury. Is there a team willing in the top 10 to go that high? Now, Mike Tannenbaum's a former NFL GM, works on ESPN, he's on the 33rd team. He had Hooker going 5th to the Seahawks, and people lost their minds. But you know how this goes. Once quarterbacks start going, teams get a little antsy, and it's like, and I wonder if he gets pushed up higher in the draft.
Hendon Hooker has a lot more high-level college experience than Anthony Richardson does, but he needs the same thing that Richardson does, which is a season to get under his belt. He only tore his ACL last November for Tennessee. He had surgery in early December. He's just now starting to throw standing. He got off his throwing off of his knees at the combine. So Hendon Hooker needs time still. So for a team that has a guy for 1 to 2 years still, like the Seahawks, like the Lions, they could take Hendon Hooker and comfortably have him for the following seasons.
Yeah, and I think next year's draft, you're already circling guys like May and Caleb Will, all those guys. Teams, you think the teams are going to wait? Guess what? These front offices, these coaches, no job is secure. You go and you get your guy if you want him, and you get him this year. You can't bank on next year.
Let me ask you.
Got to be available.
Snowball's chance in hell. The Cardinals take a quarterback.
Zero.
Zero?
Zero.
They're in a Kyler. He's a new coach, injured.
New coach.
They like it. He's paid.
Kyler survived the firing of a general manager, firing of a coach, and all that stuff. I feel like Kyler's the one pillar.
What are the chances that somebody leaps in front of the Colts?
Yeah,
very good chance.
Right there.
You talked about the Raiders. That might be a possibility. There's several teams.
Jim Irsay, if that happens.
I would be remiss not to add to the name of the game here was the biggest story of the 2023 NFL Draft. To me, it's also, let's put it on the list, if the Jets still have that pick at 13. Because that is a part of a draft conversation, even though it's more Aaron Rodgers-centric. But let's just put it out there. We want to make sure we knew that we weren't forgetting it.